I'm 70 years old, and I only just realized I was running from myself my whole life. Not from danger, not from other people, from the quiet parts of me I didn't want to sit with. And I didn't wake up one morning and decide this. It arrived slowly, like most truths do at my age. It came when there wasn't much left to distract me. I live alone now. The house isn't big, but it feels larger than it used to. Sound travels differently when there's no one else to absorb it. Every footstep reminds you you're the only one making it. Yeah. I'm not telling this because I've figured things out. I'm telling it because time has thinned, and when there's less future to hide in, the past starts speaking louder. And when you're young, you think running means chaos, recklessness, leaving everything behind. I didn't run like that. I ran responsibly, quietly, with a schedule. I kept moving just enough to never have to stop and ask myself uncomfortable questions. Looking back, I can see how early it started. I grew up in a house where emotions weren't discussed, not because they were forbidden, but because they were inconvenient. You worked, you ate, you slept. If something bothered you, you kept it to yourself until it passed. I learned that early. Learned it that being useful mattered more than being honest. Learned that stillness invited thoughts you didn't know what to do with. In my 20s, I stayed busy. 2 jobs for a while, always something lined up. I told myself I was ambitious. Maybe I was, but ambition can also be a hiding place. People would ask what I wanted long term. I'd give answers that sounded acceptable. Career, stability, a good life. I didn't dig deeper because I wasn't sure what I'd find. I married because it was the next step. She was kind, patient. She asked questions I didn't know how to answer. What makes you happy? She asked once early on. I laughed it off, said something practical, a good day's work, a quiet evening. She nodded, but I could tell that wasn't what she meant. I didn't know what she meant either. So I kept moving, work got heavier, responsibilities stacked neatly on top of each other. If I felt restless, I ignored it. Restlessness felt irresponsible. I thought if I slowed down, everything I'd been avoiding would catch up to me. Bound. The strange thing is, no one ever accused me of running. From the outside, I looked steady, reliable, present. But presence isn't the same as being with yourself. The slow cost of all this didn't announce itself. It showed up as fatigue I couldn't explain, irritation at small things, a feeling that life was happening just slightly out of reach. Bounds, I missed moments because I was already thinking about the next one. Conversations drifted past me while I planned tomorrow. I was always somewhere else, even when I was sitting right there. My marriage suffered quietly. No explosions, no scandals, just distance that grew comfortable. She would say, "You're here, but you're not really here." I didn't argue. I didn't know how to explain that I wasn't really anywhere. We stayed together longer than we should have. Familiarity is a powerful thing. Eventually she left, not angrily. Just tired. That should have been my wake-up call. Instead, I filled the space with more motion, longer hours, more commitments, new routines. Anything that kept me from sitting alone with myself for too long. I told myself I was resilient. And what I was really doing was outrunning questions. Years passed, promotions came and went, people came and went. I became someone others described as solid, even successful. Inside, I felt oddly unfinished. The turning point didn't come with drama. It came with quiet, retirement. One day, there was no schedule waiting for me, no urgency. No one needed me immediately. I thought I'd enjoy the freedom. Instead, I felt exposed. And without constant movement, there was nothing buffering me from my own thoughts. The days stretched out, unfilled. Mornings felt longer than they should have. I started noticing how often I'd avoided stillness my entire life, how silence made me uneasy, how quickly I reached for distractions. Then came the illness. Not mine. A close friend, someone I'd known for decades. He got sick quickly, was gone within months. Bond sitting at his funeral, I realized how little I knew about his inner life and how little anyone really knew about mine. That thought stayed with me. When I went home that day and sat in my chair as the light changed in the room, I didn't turn on the television, I didn't pick up the phone for the first time, I didn't run. What came up wasn't one big revelation, it was fragments, regrets without clear names, choices made on autopilot, a long list of things postponed indefinitely. I saw how often I had chosen motion over meaning, safety over honesty, progress over presence, and I understood something quietly devastating. You can spend a lifetime avoiding yourself and still end up right here with no room left to run. What can't be fixed now isn't one decision. It's the pattern, the decades spent never asking who I was beneath all the roles I played well. I can't go back and sit with my younger self and say, slow down. I wouldn't have listened anyway. I was too busy being responsible. I can't rebuild relationships I never fully inhabited. I can't reclaim the years I filled with noise instead of understanding all I have now is awareness. Late, but clear. And I'm learning how to sit quietly, how to notice what comes up without immediately pushing it away. It's uncomfortable. It always was. That's why I ran, but there's something honest in it. Palmbandst, if you're listening to this, I don't want to tell you to stop running. You might not even think you are. I didn't. Mindy, I only know this. Staying busy can feel like living. But it isn't the same thing as knowing yourself. Banju. I thought there would be time later to figure things out, to slow down, to ask harder questions. Later felt endless. It wasn't. Now at Teasers, I live more simply. I walk. I read. I sit with thoughts I used to drown out. Some days are heavy. Some are peaceful in a way I never allowed before. I don't regret everything. I did my best with what I knew, but I wish I'd been braver about stillness sooner. Dondi, if this meant something to you, you don't need to change anything right away. Just notice where movement might be keeping you from listening. I spent my life running from myself. I've finally stopped. There's not much road left, but at least now I know where I am.